Yeah, 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 Ergo. Hey, 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 look.
Yeah, what's going on? I go by the name of Steph Urkel, and welcome back to another episode of the Millennium Dungeon. Here I got my wonderful co-host.
Hi, everyone.
What's going on, Afro?
Nothing much. How are you?
You know me, I'm kicking like a donkey who trying to be funky. But for this
Uh-huh.
money, first of all, let me stop it there because I saw you roll your eyes. I don't need that, that kind of hostility, okay? You know I do this.
Sorry.
Now,
Repetitive.
I ain't gonna come at your neck. Shout out to you. Side note, everybody. Afro birthday was earlier this week, so we're gonna say a happy belated birthday to Afro if y'all can.
Thank you.
How was your birthday?
It was great. Um, the actual day was great. I went and saw Nope with
Oh, how was that?
it was good. I liked it.
Nice,
I
nice.
liked it. But I'm a Kiki Palmer fan. And
I'm,
so like anything she does, I'm a support. So
I'm gonna
first
stick
and
beside
foremost, she's a great actress. I don't know, she just gives so much life to her roles.
Yeah,
They always feel realistic.
yeah. I
But
like her too. We grew up with her, so
right, exactly. So she did great in it. It was a great movie. I liked it. And it's nice to see like a horror movie, like a scary movie, but the black people win.
facts.
You know,
Facts.
because like
You won't see
there's
that.
enough horror in the black existence sometimes. So
Yeah,
like, and a lot of people not winning. So it was nice to see, even with like the thrill, even with
yeah.
like the scary. We doing what we gotta
Exactly.
do.
I
Surviving.
co-sign that. I co-sign that shit because it's good to see us actually winning in some shit in a horror film. Because I'm tired of us getting murked the first 30 minutes of the film. That is exhausting.
Exactly. But yeah, I saw Nope. Hung out by the water, got dinner. It was nice. And then yesterday, I had like a little party. We
Nice.
rented a pontoon boat, um, which you can do in Erie. You
Okay.
can rent boats. And the thing is, though, you the driver.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I had like my boyfriend and I took like the little course,
Yeah.
but I didn't drive that boat. I was
Huh?
scared. I'm a
Listen, it's
chicken.
your birthday. You shouldn't have to.
That was my thought too.
Yeah.
And he was in his element. He loved that. He likes
Okay.
having that type of control.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was fun. And then we got dinner and went out. So I've had a great, start to year 26. And I'm going to Mexico in a couple days. So,
Hey, turn up, turn up, turn up, man.
right.
Don't drink the water over there. That they said, yeah.
Everyone says that. I know. Okay, this is something, just a little tidbit, a little crazy fact that I found out. The issue isn't even the water anymore.
What?
Like in the past, the issue was their water didn't get the same amount of treatment and stuff like it does here.
Okay.
Um, but now it's infrastructure. So the water is treated. They do all the processes that you need to make water potable to make it safe. But the pipes ain't it. So drink your bottled water.
Right. Just be careful out there
I
and
will.
enjoy yourself.
I will.
Now,
Thank you.
now this episode we're gonna be talking about Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? That's my Wakanda accent. Wakanda forever. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why we talking about that is because obviously Black Panther 2 on trailer got released few days back, and people been talking about it, controversy of talking about obviously Chadwick Boseman is not going to be in it for obvious reasons, and like
Right.
people are wondering like, well, what they going to do with the new Black Panther? Who going to take the title and stuff like that? So before we even get into all that, I want to just talk about the first time you saw Black Panther because I know my first time it was an experience for me. Well, when was the first time you saw the first Black Panther, and how you feel seeing that on screen?
So I went when I was in Clarion still.
Okay.
Um, I don't think it was opening night, but it might have been. And if it wasn't opening night, but I think it was opening night. I went with a bunch of my sorority sisters,
Mm-hmm.
and I was big on us being on time. That's all I remember. Um, it was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember we went and watched the movie, and then I think we went out that night, and I was just on. I was feeling myself. It made you proud to be black.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? It was so beautiful because there so much of the media around, or the media that like Black people are featured in is trauma based, either a suffering, or it's about slavery, or it's about like hood life. And like, it was nice to see so many beautiful Black people and looking different hues, different hair textures, different styling, just being proud. It wasn't about us being anything negative, and there was trauma in the movie, but it wasn't centered around trauma in the same way.
Right.
It told a different story about Black trauma, if anything, but also the celebratory nature of being Black. Being Black is lit.
Facts.
And so I know after watching that movie, I was like, ooh, I'm just proud to be Black.
That joint was popping.
It was a cultural moment for sure. Because also we have had years and years and years of like of superhero movies from Marvel and DC coming out, and very few of them even have a Black character, let alone centered around a Black character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was nice to see us be the heroes for once.
Right.
And us center stage, and not just Captain America or, Batman.
I get it. Yeah. I remember my first time I went there. Now, I think you and me talked about this, and people about to come at me in the comments, so I'm gonna be ready for this. I didn't see it coming to America until like years later. So like, I didn't really get that experience of like seeing like what like a Black nation really looked like. So when I actually went to see Black Panther in theaters, you remember like seeing on social media, like people dressed in dashikis, people walking, hey, all that, everybody just celebrating, singing with the attire, all that. I'm looking like, yo, this joint is lit. When I went to theater, I smelled chicken in the background. I'm like, yo, if this ain't the best theaters, I don't know what it is, dog. People was having chicken, they had food in there. This
Cocoa
is the
butter.
best experience. Exactly. And like watching Black Panther on the screen, it's just like seeing Wakanda for the first time, just seeing like, it's like you said, seeing Black people just celebrating just life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many times when we see like major movies that depict us, is always a struggle movie about like us overcoming racism, us overcoming the struggle living in poverty in the hood, us overcoming the government trying to bring us down. And it's just like, just seeing Wakanda like actually like where Black people actually striving, being scientists, being engineers, like it's a regular average day job. It's not like, oh shoot, you're a scientist in Wakanda.
It's
that's
not the exception.
Exactly.
It is not the exception.
Exactly. It's like it's a 9-to-5 job in Wakanda being a scientist, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then just seeing T Challa and like him being a Black man being from royalty, seeing his sister being a princess and she's also a scientist, the mom being the queen. It was an experience for me. You know what I'm saying? That I'll never forget. And it's like, I remember just like seeing after like me and my friend came out the theater, I'm like, yo, we gotta see that next week, dog. Like, we gotta see this joint for a second time, because like it was definitely an experience that like I'm kind of glad that a lot of younger Black kids got to really experience, because they don't know what coming into America is. They didn't really understand like what it was like.
I was gonna say, coming to America came out in the 80s though, but we have to remember. So like neither of us were born in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know my dad like loves that movie. I didn't see Coming to America until I was like in my early 20s. I was an adult, I think, when I first saw it. And we watched it as like a family movie or something, but I feel like it was our version of Coming to America. It was, because if you think about it, I don't know what year exactly, but I'm guessing probably like 1985, 1988 is sometime in the area that Coming to America came out. I could be wrong, so no one quote me. Do your own research, do your own fact checking. But if you think about it, Black Panther came out in 2017?
Right.
That's almost 30 years?
Almost, yeah.
That's a long time, or actually 30 years. That's a long time to have a Black-centered movie about Black royalty, Black celebration. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
The fact that we can only get that, or at the time only had that like twice in 30 years,
Yeah, that says
You
a lot,
know?
right? And the fact that it had to be a superhero movie in Marvel that we had to get that. It like because Wakanda ain't in the real place, but it was like something we took pride of because it's like, damn, this is the only depiction of what we want to see of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the fact I get
Well,
what you're saying.
I feel like the reason why Wakanda touches us so much is because it shows us what it could in a way, obviously there's the superhero elements, the fantastical elements,
Yeah.
with the vibranium,
Mhm.
that stuff. But it shows us what the countries in Africa could almost be like if they were untouched by colonialism.
Yeah.
If they hadn't been touched by Europe and the way that they were touched by Europe. It's not like, I know the way it almost seems, it's the way it's almost taught to us is like white people existed, black people existed, Asian people existed, all these different types of people existed, but they didn't know each other existed. That's not true. That's not true at all. The Moors in Upper Africa came into Spain, I think like 10 AD. They didn't leave Spain until like the 1600s, because of the Spanish Inquisition. But my point being is like, I don't know. I always have looked at it and thought of it like almost like they didn't know black people existed until they started, slavery, and that's not true. They
Hell no.
knew.
Yeah.
They just said, "Oh, we're doing things differently than them. Let's take over."
Okay.
They did what they do. And so I like the beautiful part of Wakanda, even though it's fake, is it reminds you that black people were important before colonialism,
Mhm.
during colonialism, and after. And we had the potential to create technologies, modernity, you know what I'm trying to say, make modernness.
Yeah. Modern civilization. I was get what you're saying.
Right. Um, without the help of the West.
Yes. Exactly. You
Weren't
know what
given
I'm
the
saying?
opportunity, you
A
know?
lot of us, like I said before, I never saw a movie like that until Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? I never seen a movie where it's like a black movie where it didn't revolve around kind of struggle, and it was actually like a superhero movie. Like the closest superhero, a black superhero I had was what Blank Man and goddamn Blade. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have. I didn't have no black superheroes. And obviously, we had Static Shock on that was a cartoon though. But
Right.
like on a live action screen, it was Blank Man and Blade. That's the only thing. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not wearing that hot ass leather. I like Wesley Snipes, but that jacket look hot as hell. I'm not wearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
Blank Man, he had on a hotel towel. Like, I'm not wearing it as no cape. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like it's a lot of superheroes that I didn't really have that looked like me. That I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But then I see
Right.
Black Panther. I'm like, yo, this is so, like this younger generation got it so good when it comes to having like representation like put in front of them because like a lot of us really didn't have that. So it's like Black Panther, that movie was something that
Right.
I'm so glad happened for this generation.
Right. My nephew is 9. He just turned 9 in July. Um, and so he was, I don't know, like 4 or 5
Mm-hmm.
when the first Black Panther came out.
Right.
And like he didn't understand the movie. Like, because it's a complex thread. But did he want me to put it on all the time? Yep. Did he watch it? No. But did he want the Black Panther doll, like action figure toys and their stuffed animals? Was he walking around going Wakanda forever? Yes, and still is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that moment. It was bigger than just the movie for the Black community.
Exactly. Exactly. I remember when I was still at this after school teaching job in South Philly, and like I had my classroom, it was like a bunch of kindergartners and stuff like that. It was like 5, 6. So like when Black Panther came out, I feel like a big kid. I was like, I Mbaku, and they all was laughing. I was lead the Jabati tribe, putting the accent on, got the little kids saying Wakanda forever and stuff like that. Yo, it's definitely like a movie that was definitely made for us, and it's like I don't know. Another reason, it was unapologetically black. Like I feel like it wasn't one of them movies that was like, okay, this is for black people, but remember, it got to please to the other audience. No, this for us, and this still can be good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like it was a risk that Marvel took, but it ended up working out perfect because it was written by a black man, it was directed by a black man, had black producers. So it's like I get how it worked, and I'm glad it worked. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and I mean, I could be canceled for this statement, but I don't care. Cancel me. If you are not black, it's going to be mighty difficult for you to write and depict blackness in an authentic manner. Period. If you're not, as a black person, how am I supposed to authentically present the life and experiences of a Japanese woman? I can't. You can do your research, you can become involved in the culture, you can do all the things, but that does not make it authentic. Right. You can do it good. I'm not trying to, take credit away from anybody, but it's not ever going to be the same as if you were from that community. You can get close, you can get good, but it is not the same.
Okay. That's fact. Yeah. That I ain't got nothing to say. I agree with that. Now I guess what we gotta get to the little awkward part of this conversation when we talk about Black Panther 2. Obviously, you saw the trailer, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, okay. So it looked good, didn't it?
It looks good, but I have so many questions already.
Yeah, I got some questions too. Well, for starters, we can jump right into it talking about who's going to be the new Black Panther, who's going to take that title, because obviously, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, he passed away a few years back, and
yes, in August of 2020.
Yeah,
and I only remember he passed away like the night before I think we started our first day of school, or it was like that same week of nothing. So I'm like about to go into teaching for my first year, and I was like, I wonder how these kids are going to feel about this.
Yeah.
And so I think we talked about it. Because it meant a lot. Chadwick Boseman, his legacy, he meant a lot to Black people, the Black community, and more than just Black Panther. And the fact that he he produced all this great work while very sick, while literally dying, and no one knew. In the general public, people knew, people closest to him knew.
His loved ones and family, yeah.
Right. It was shocking.
Yeah.
Because it's like he was so young, he was only in his 40s, and he gave us so much, and in such a selfless way, kind of, because if I'm dying, I'm not doing crap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that must have been what he wanted to do in some level. But, he created this legacy for himself in such a short amount of time. And I think that's what makes Black Panther 2 so difficult to talk about, because how do you top what he did for a culture?
Yeah.
And still honor his memory and still respect his legacy. And I think that's what it's so hard for people to deal with and to talk about, because there's such a huge argument from people to not recast the Black Panther. How do you feel about that? Do you think they should recast him or no?
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I was team recast, but I also understand why they didn't. Here's my thing. It's two things about the whole recast thing. One, we live in a time in Marvel, in this point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where they got the multiverse, right? If you've been paying attention to the Marvel Universe and watching the movies, so the multiverse means like it takes place in different dimensions and different worlds. So even though they killed off T'Challa, right? They could have been like, okay, this is T'Challa from a different reality or different world. And two, for me, like, I know this is gonna sound kind of selfish and kind of the nerd kid coming out of me. I didn't really want to see T'Challa off the big screen. Like, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman. I understand they were trying to respect their friend in the best way they can. Like, obviously, because he was one of the essential parts of that movie that made it what it was. But at the same time, I feel like T'Challa is such an important character, because not only was he a big part of the Marvel universe, but it was just like a big part of representation. Seemed like a Black king, a Black like with no struggle. It was just him like inherited something. Like inherit the role, something that somebody that people can actually look up to. And it's like you said earlier in the episode too, about like, a lot of times when we see like us depicted on big screen, it's with struggle and pain. So when I think about like the child being killed off, we don't know how he's been killed off. Okay. But when I think about him being killed off, it's like, damn, we can't even go to the movies and escape that drama or that struggle. It's like we gotta go and see that every day. So now when we go to the movies for enjoyment and like for entertainment, we still gotta experience that kind of pain. Like I know that I sound like a kid saying that, but it's like I didn't really want to see like the T'Challa die. I would rather been like, oh well, we got the T'Challa from another universe coming in. I hope that's what they still doing, but like I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So what you're saying is you felt like he should have been recasted.
Yeah.
Because while Chadwick Boseman, a wonderful actor, the character of T'Challa is kind of bigger than just this one actor. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for saying that. Respectfully.
I get that. I think when it first happened, I was at the camp of not recasting, but only from the perspective of when were they trying to create this movie and when were they trying to put it out there.
Yeah.
Like if they were trying to start filming within that year and have it out within, like, I don't know how long it takes to make a movie. I know it can take a lot of years, so don't mind my ignorance. But if they were trying to have it out within the next 2 years, I might have been a little bit more like, it doesn't look good, especially because it was so close to when Black Panther actually came out.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait a year, then start production and casting, and, give people time to grieve is my point. Because when the conversation started happening, it was literally within a week or two of his death, and so I felt like it's too soon to recast him, but not that the character couldn't ever be recasted. Does that make sense? So I was like, timing is what matters. It needs to be timed in a respectful manner. And also, though I do understand, with recasting there comes comparison, but you're going to compare the first movie to the second movie regardless.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't anti-recasting. I was just making sure whenever it was recasted, it was done in a respectful timing.
Yeah.
Take your time. Don't make it rush. Don't rush it. Honor his legacy by finding someone who can match or surpass, who can honor the groundwork that he laid down. Don't just recast to recast.
Yeah.
And do it quick. Exactly. Y'all got the money, the time. Disney got more money than you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Right. And it's not like they don't got the great writer team to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't like it's gonna be sloppy, like, whoa, the child just fell from another planet. No, let's start over again. No, it's like y'all got the resources to make it happen. But right. I get it though. So I'm not really gonna be like, man, Disney, what you was doing? Because at the same time, a lot of people that made that movie, that was on the writing team who directed the movie, they were close friends with T'Challa. I mean, not T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman. So it's just like, I get it. They wanted to find the best way to honor their friend as possible without feeling like they had to sweep him under the rug like he was never there. But like I said,
well, at least from the movie trailer, it doesn't look like that's what they're doing.
What you mean, recasting?
No. I mean, like sweeping him under the rug.
Right. From the trailer, no, they definitely taking their time to honor him, because even the music, like even the first 30 seconds, I was like, damn, somebody cutting onions in there? Damn, this kind of emotional.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
So
I'm curious. Like, definitely some of the scenes that you see, because they really didn't give much away.
They didn't.
Except at some point, a baby's going to be born.
So,
and that's what
So my bad for cutting you off. So the answer that me like reading comics, that's Namor. He's going to be the villain. So like if you look at that on that trailer again, the baby got little wings. So like Namor is basically like a villain version of Aquaman from DC. So in the comics, so like Namor has his whole Atlanteus and he's like a villain. So from the trailer that I depicted, it's going to be Atlantean versus Wakanda. But like, who's going to take over for the vibranium?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I saw some other, black characters that didn't look like they were from Wakanda having conflict kind of looking like with like the Wakandans. Like it was, I don't know. So I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Because I didn't read the Black Panther like comics.
Yeah.
I know my dad has, and I haven't talked to him about the the new movie coming out anytime recently. So he had like the history of everything. You know what I mean? He could tell you stuff.
Yeah.
But like how I think I know this is like a little tangent, but how like Storm and T'Challa were married and they had a kid together.
Mm-hmm. It was a boy.
Uh-huh. And those are like real I don't know. I like storytelling. I like seeing how things come together, how things are pieced together.
Mm-hmm.
And so how like all the it's a world really.
Mm-hmm.
Like their comics, it creates a world. And I think it's cool.
Fun, like side note, but a little fun fact. You know the thing I didn't know about Storm? That she told me the other day, because we be talking about nerdy stuff. She told me that even though Storm was raised in Africa, she was born in Africa. She was raised in Queens, New York.
Mm-hmm. I think she lived in Africa for a while, but then was raised in Queens.
Yeah, I didn't know that. They said that she was raised in Jamaica, Queens. So I'm thinking, my goofy ass. I'm thinking like, yo, Storm got a New York accent. She throwing lightning bolts like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? She got Tim's on, like, yo, Magneto, you're bugging, my guy. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Stop it.
Yo, that shit would be pop. If they did that, if they brought her in the universe, Storm come in with a fresh pair of butters on and she's throwing lightning bolts, that should be crazy.
Let's first, stop. I'm gonna stop you right there. Storm does not have a New York accent. Never has.
I'm telling you. I don't know if she come in wearing the FUBU
Jamaican.
jacket.
I'll give you Jamaican. I'll give you a Wakandian accent. She don't got no.
All right, watch. When she be like, yeah, and she starts saying, you're bugging on Black Panther. You're bugging. And her favorite food gonna be oxtails. Watch. I'm telling you.
Goodbye, Steph. Goodbye.
Watch. But yeah, back to Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? It's a kind of a rough situation. It's like, because I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because like, even though I'm team recast, at the end of the day, it's like you said, people are going to compare the new actor to Chadwick Boseman. So they like, man, he don't got the same as Chadwick Boseman. But then if you don't recast, obviously it's going to be the people like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see Chadwick Boseman. I want to see T Challa and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was an L either way.
Right.
But
there is no. The best situation is if Chadwick Boseman hadn't passed away, and that's unfortunately not the case. And so, either way, there is no perfect alternative. I feel like there just is the choice made. Right. You know what I mean? Because everyone's going to have an opinion, and everyone's going to think that their opinion was the best way they could have done it. But there's no proof of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What do you think about the idea of Zuri becoming the Black Panther?
Or the little sister? Shuri,
yeah.
She was one of my favorite characters. I'm fine with that, because at the end of the day, she was the Black Panther for a little bit of time, like in the comics, but only for a small period of time. So if they do it that way, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Do I still want to see the T'Challa, or like another version of him as king? Of course. But at the end of the day, it's like you said before, it's something we can't change. So if they're sticking with Shuri as like the new Black Panther, I'm still going to support. I'm a rock with it. Yeah, she's a good character. It's just, it is what it is now. How about you?
Right. I'm okay with it. I'm not mad. I remember, I don't have all the details right anymore because, it's been a long time. But yeah. I used to watch like the 90s X-Men. I don't know. My favorite Marvel superhero group is X-Men. I don't know if you know that about me.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay. I love X-Men. But I remember, I think there was like some cameos maybe of Wakanda, because I had heard the reason why I know Storm and T'Challa were a thing and they had a son is because she goes home to visit the son and to visit, I think, T'Challa. Actually, they got divorced, but
All right, go ahead, co-parent.
Right. But I just remember there being two of them. There was a time period where there was two Black Panthers, like at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why. And like they could do something like that. You know what I mean?
They can. You know what I'm saying? That would be a cool concept. And it's like, if they had, like I said before, or they can do a concept where it's like I said, this is the multiverse. And what if like the son from a different reality comes in and said, I'll take over? Mm-hmm. That can be something, because I remember they son, not only did he have the powers of the Black Panther, but he also had Storm's powers. So it's like he had like electrical powers where like he can touch you, he can zap your ass. I'm like, yo, he's tough. Right. So that would be cool if Marvel did that. So
you know what they could do?
What?
And I'm just speculating. They could make it seem like, okay, 10 years later, the Black Panther dies, whatever reason. But him and the girl he was with in the movies, I don't remember her name, but she was real cute. They have a son. You know, he's 10 years old at this time. Yeah. You know, they could start it off the movie with his death maybe, but he also has his son. And they could show him like growing and developing into that position, or something of that nature even. Yeah. And his desire to honor his people, but also to be his own person maybe, and trying to branch out.
Well, Marvel
come up with that whole duality.
Yeah, I see that. I see what you did there. Marvel about to put you on the little writing team there. I see that. Listen, I like that.
I'm a writer. I love storytelling.
Listen, I'm all with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I write too. I think that would be a cool concept, like someone on the next generation of Black Panther.
Right. Cool. And you know, the pressure of honoring your ancestors and honoring your people while staying true to yourself. Because I think that's a big issue in our community. How do I respect those who came before me while also respecting my own desires, especially for like, I know, immigrant families, you know, people who are maybe first generation, second generation from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Jamaica. You know, how do I honor the sacrifices my parents have made for me, my family has made for me, while also loving myself and doing what makes me feel right.
Right. Yeah. Either way for me, I'm a support, and that's all I got to say about Black Panther. What about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it's gonna be lit. I will be there November, whatever day it comes out, in my white, like they talking about. Remember, wear your white, guys. Wear your white.
I'm wearing them on. Yeah, I got the claws and everything. Well, that's it for our episode. So drive safely, y'all. Be careful out there, because I've been hearing about a lot of deaths in Philly that's been going on lately. Try be as safe as possible, y'all, and that's for anybody anywhere. Appreciate your loved ones. With that being said, I go by the name of Steph.
And I go by Amari, also known as Afro Puff.
This has been another episode of Millennial Dungeon. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
See ya.
Yeah. Ergo.